Good day first. Regarding the toss, I really think it's important that, Bangladesh are not just here to come and serve up balls for India. I know everybody's hoping Bangladesh should bowl first and India can get 450, but that's not why we're here. We think the best way for us to try and win this test match today was to try and bat first, and we've got to get used to doing that against good sides. If you come to subcontinent, 99% of the time you bat first, and that was a good wicket to bat on this afternoon. So we've got no qualms with the decision we made to bat first. Three seamers and a spinner. You're hoping on a good surface that you can get a good first inning score, which didn't happen for us today.
And the batting order?
Yeah, batting order for me, non-entity. Mushi is very happy batting at 5. Gives us a little bit of experience in the middle order. We've also got to try and provide opportunities for some of the younger players. A guy like Mitten, I think, potentially has a good future in Bangladesh cricket. He's only playing his 6th or 7th test, so I feel technically he's a very good player, and that's why we're deciding to bat him at 4.
Well, coach, something crazy happened in the middle. 2 concussion starts in 1 match. So they were really not the part of the actual plan, what Taijul and Mezias and Miraj. So now, will there be any change of plan or in the approach for the upcoming days of games played?
Look, it's a very unusual situation, and unfortunate for the 2 batters, because Litton is starting to show some good potential for us at number 7 in test matches, and that's a big positive for us. We decided to play Naim today because he gets a little bit more bounce than Tajul and Miraj does. Unfortunately, didn't work for them. In terms of going forward, in the second innings, there's not much we can do. The top order just got to get the runs. It's as simple as that. When you've got a lower order that's as vulnerable as our lower order, it's important that the top order puts some big scores together, which you're not doing at the moment.
Coach here. Coach,
Hello, sir.
It seems like that batsmen were pretty technically poor. Batsmen are in a state where they are very poor to make decisions. Do you agree that?
No, look, in the end of the day, guys, we've got to understand we're playing against a really good Indian side. And their bowling attack is probably the leading bowling attack in the world. They've got 3 experienced fast bowlers in Shami, in Ishan, and in Yadav. So they've got a fantastic bowling lineup, and they've put a lot of sides under pressure with their discipline, with their pace, with their aggression. So for sure, it's easy to point fingers at technical frailties, but we're playing against a really good bowling attack. If you look at the numbers between the 2 batting lineups and the experience of their side compared to our side, they're putting us under massive pressure with the ball at the moment.
Still experienced batters are getting out, which is not.
Yeah, look, I suppose you can say Mushi and Riyad are experienced, and Imrul, but Shadman, young player, Mitten's only played 6 or 7. So there's still a lot of learning for those young batters to do. But like I say, they're a fantastic bowling unit, and sometimes you just got to say they're on top of the game at the moment, and they're just better than us at the moment. There's no doubt about it.
Coach, did your batsmen face any visibility issues early on, or was that them being tentative in anticipation of the pink ball doing something?
Were they facing any, excuse me?
Visibility issues? Or
No, not at all. I mean, when we started batting, it was bright sunshine. It was a good day, good wicket, no visibility issues. The first 5 or 6 overs, it looked like the wicket was pretty flat. I'm sure everybody in the media was saying, this looks like a flat wicket. Good decision to bat first. And then we lose a few wickets and it looks like a bad decision to bat first. So that's just the nature of the game. They bowl really well, and we are struggling with confidence in the top order at the moment. There's no doubt about it.
Coach, your bowlers bowled in the much talked about twilight period. So what the feedback you have got from the bowlers, like what the ball was doing, what's the ideal length on this pitch?
Yeah, look, we once again we're too inconsistent in terms of our bowling, and I don't want to keep comparing the 2 sides, but I mean, if you think of the test Ishan's played and Yadav's played, and Shami have played, and you compare it to Ebidot, who's playing probably his 4th test match. So a very inexperienced bowling lineup, and if you look at the way I use a guy like Ishan, the way his career started and where his career is now, it takes a little bit of time for these young fast bowlers to understand the lengths they need to bowl and the discipline it takes to bowl to players like Rohit and Virat and Pujara that any mistake that you make is going to be punished, and they will learn in time to come. But it's a steep learning curve at the moment.
Was the ball doing enough under lights?
I did enough, but we just didn't bowl consistently well enough. So we'd bowl 3 or 4 in the right area, then 1 down leg or 1 too short, and that's the difference between the two sides. That India are able to bowl 3 or 4 overs consistently, and we're able to bowl 3 or 4 balls. You look at our start, we'll have 10 after 6 overs. India will have 30 after 6 overs. So those are the small things that's making a big difference at the moment.
Coach, you had a word about Ishant, that how experienced he is. He started off bowling on a shorter side, but after 3-4 overs, he quickly adjusted his length and moved to the fuller length deliveries. That's why he got more wickets in the second session too. So what on Ishant, who picked up a 5 for wickets?
Well, that's where the experience comes in. That's where playing the number of test matches for over the last 6 or 7 years will help him. Whereas if you're a young bowler, you probably keep banging away and making the same mistake. He's now an experienced world-class bowler. He's able to understand his action and make the adjustments that he needs to make to get his length a bit fuller, which some of our young bowlers are still trying to find.
Coach, I don't know whether you were consulted before taking the decision of playing this day-night test match, but do you think that you should have played at least one practice match before this?
There's no doubt we requested it. We did request. I know I've been involved in a pink ball previously, and we did request it, but with the current schedules, time's too tight. It's no excuse. It's the same for both sides. We've had 4 days of practice time, but a practice game would have been able to help us. Whether or not it makes a difference, I don't know. But just to give the guys a bit more time with the pink ball would have been ideal. But that's no excuse. It's the way it is. Hello, sir.
You said India are have very good pace bowling at a World Cup pace bowling. But is it justified to bowl down within just 30 overs in the day one? And the other thing is, do you think it was needed to replace a replacement batsman for Musaddiq and also for Naeem Hassan from Bangladesh?
So, firstly, it's definitely not a 30 over all out wicket. There's no doubt about that. We didn't bat well enough. India got a fantastic bowling lineup, but our batting wasn't good enough today. And then regarding to have a replacement batter, Mossadegh's gone home. He's got a grade 1 hamstring strain, and he's also got some personal issues to deal with. And then Saif Hussain, we were hoping to have him fit for this game, but the stitch that he had put in 2 or 3 days ago hasn't closed at all, so he's had to have new stitches put in, which has ruled him out of this particular game. So when the batter got injured, there was, unless Rabid could have batted for me, there was no other real batter available for us. So we had to go with Mirage.
You had time to recall one batsman from Mossadegh because he was unavailable from the first test.
No, but Mossadegh, like I said, has got a grade 1 hamstring strain, which ruled him out of this test match as well. It's 7 to 10 days or something to that effect.
Do you think Bangladesh was very much underprepared for this pink ball test?
No, I wouldn't say underprepared. It's the same. India have also just had 2 or 3 days to prepare. We've had 3 or 4 days. Guys, there's I don't want to say it, but there's a big difference between the two sides. When I say big difference, I'm talking about if you look at the levels of performance that India have got compared to the levels of performance that Bangladesh got, whether you prepare 6 or 7 days or 4 days, there's a big difference between the two sides at the moment. What their bowling attack, what their batting lineup, and it's something that we've got to try and catch up with. We're a long way behind in Test match cricket. If you look at a guy like Virat Kohli's batting record, he's got 26 Test hundreds. All our batsmen together have got 16, 17. So we're a long way behind in terms of Test match cricket, and it's something that we need to address going forward. There's no doubt about it.
Where we're lacking as a batting unit, where's the batting lacking? Next period.
Well, it's a bit of both. There's definitely a lack of confidence. There's a lack of players playing against bowling attacks like this week in, week out. There's no doubt that they don't face that type of quality when they play domestic cricket in Bangladesh, and that's understandable because they are a fantastic bowling unit, and the wickets in Bangladesh aren't conducive to producing those bowlers at the moment. So bit of mental, it's a little bit of technical, it's a little bit of confidence, it's a little bit of we're facing some really world-class bowlers at the moment and we're coming short. So there's a whole host of issues that we need to deal with in our batting lineup.
Coach, do you think the batsmen, whatever was their expectation from the pink ball, and there's a huge gap between what they expected and what they experienced?
No, not at all. They expected the pink ball to do a little bit at night. Unfortunately, we didn't bat at night. We were all out before the night time set in. So there was nothing untoward that happened that we didn't expect to happen.
Coach, just going back on that Mossadegh side point, the point being is that because you had lost Mossadegh before the first test,
Yes.
and you had lost Saif, I think on the 20th when he didn't practice as well. So with Kolkata being so close to Dhaka, was there a discussion to fly in a replacement for Mossadegh during that time and for Saif?
You see, we had two spare batters yet at the start of the tour. One's gone home, the other one's pulled a stitch. There wasn't a discussion to bring in another batter now.
Now will you have one, because there's this, you have experienced something like reading a concussion?
Well, the thing is, do you fly in someone now in case someone gets concussed in the second innings? That is.
No, I'm saying going forward in the next series perhaps you'll have that ready as well.
If that's a tough one, because sometimes you can't. Some guys need to play. Some guys are playing like in the high performance. Is it beneficial to sit on the side of the field and hope someone gets concussed so that they can play? It's not always. These things just happen sometimes out of your control, unfortunately.
You know, when Bangladesh came, even before the matches started, you were the obvious underdogs and playing the best test side in the world in terms of ranking. So the mental aspect, you know, preparing them, just taking them to staying power, we saw a little bit of it. We made a statement by taking batting first and then those first half an hour. So how much did you work on the mental aspect? You know, not being overwhelmed by...
No, it's something we talk about regularly, and I mean, I know some people said when we won the first T20, the change room, the dugout looked like calm, no one was jumping up and down. It's a conscious thing we're trying to do. We're trying to make guys not be surprised if we beat India in a game, if you understand what I'm saying. It's got to become something that we expect to do. So if you win the toss in India, just because we're playing India doesn't mean we must bowl first because we're scared of getting bowled out. We're trying to make those brave decisions that can benefit us in the long run. And for sure, there's going to be some hurt and there's going to be some disappointments now. But hopefully, we can continue making those brave decisions and it can ultimately pay off, because batting first is the way to go in India. There's no doubt about it. Just because we've got skittled twice doesn't mean we've got to make a bad decision because we've batted badly. If you understand. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we're trying to front up to India. It's very difficult because they're a good side, but that's the way we're trying to do it.
Coach, personally, you have come to subcontinent before, like with the South Africans as well. So what is your, personally, what do you think about the future of pink ball cricket for the health of test cricket, especially in subcontinent where test cricket is not exactly the most popular format, unlike Australia and India?
Yeah, it's terrible today. We should never play it again. Look, I suppose on the odd occasion there's nothing wrong with it. I don't think it's going to be the norm. I think the 10 o'clock start in the morning, and it still gets everybody excited and nervous, and 1 o'clock in the afternoon doesn't quite feel the same. If you understand what I'm saying, it's like past my bedtime already. Normally I'm in bed this time. So it's different, and it's something that you can do on the odd occasion, I think. But it's not quite 10 o'clock. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, the excitement's there. The crowd is fantastic, but there's something about, it's just a little bit different. It's fantastic, occasionally.